Reconnect and heal today. Welcome to Love Never Dies with Dr. Jamie Turndorf.
Hello and welcome to Love Never Dies Radio. I'm Dr. Jamie Turndorf, founder of AskDrLove.com, the web's first relationship advice site since 1995, and of course, host of Love Never Dies Radio. The show, Love Never Dies, is based on my Hay House memoir and self-help book in which I present my trans-dimensional grief resolution method. The book starts with the amazing true story of my spiritual reconnection with my beloved deceased husband, internationally renowned former Jesuit priest Émile Jean Pain. You know, Jean's astonishing after bodily death manifestations showed me we don't die, and therefore our relationships aren't supposed to end with bodily death. And that's what led me to create the Transdimensional Grief Resolution Method, which combines my conflict resolution method that I presented in the first Hay House book, Kiss Your Fights Goodbye. It was originally published by Henry Holt and Company, by the way, in 1999 under the title, Till Death Do Us Part Unless I Kill You First. And that book and then the Hay House version present my conflict resolution method. And now in Love Never Dies, I just bring that method to the world of after bodily death communication. So the result is a new method that offers you the first vehicle for reconnecting and also making peace with your loved ones in spirit. And then as you make peace, you're freer and freer to use the reconnection for its highest and most divine purpose, which is to help you heal yourself in body, in mind, in spirit, and then also to obtain guidance on the path that you're supposed to take in life. And when I speak about the path you're supposed to take, the path to happiness and joy and balance and prosperity, I'm moving this year into an expansion of the Transdimensional Grief Resolution Method, and I'm calling it the Energetic System Upgrade. And how this came about is pretty wild. I started listening to really successful people, CEOs, very wealthy people who are married, have a family, successful professions and careers. But I was listening to people sounding discontent and empty. And I realized, what is going on here that so many people are so empty, waking up in the morning feeling miserable, heavy-hearted, not looking forward to the day ahead the way we should, just bouncing out of bed with a sense of vibrancy and anticipation, wondrous anticipation, as though we were little kids waiting for the mysteries and the magic of the day to unfold. So I knew that I needed to recalibrate people's energetic fields, but I didn't want to use the recalibration. It just didn't feel right to me. And then a couple of months ago, in my online coaches training and supervision, we were doing a combined coaches training and my love club, when all of a sudden I hear one of my students' computers say, "Excuse me, time for a system upgrade." She said, "That's really weird because I have never heard my computer speak, let alone say time for a system upgrade." I didn't think a thing of it. Then the next week, we heard the same voice again, and then a third week. And I said, oh my goodness, Jean is giving me the name of this new method, Energetic System Upgrade. And the name was born, just like that. And it combines all my work from the beginning of my career 35 years ago, where I tune into you energetically, and I sense where the imbalance is, whether it's in your energetic field, in your physical field, whether I need to do distance healing on your body, on your soul, whether we need to help you reconnect with a loved one in spirit, whatever you need, I will tune in and give you through the Energetic System Upgrade. And what's so wild is the day after I got the message, this is what the method is called, 1440, Multiversity reached out to my publicist and said, we want Dr. Turndorf to teach her new method in California at our university this summer. But nobody even knew about the new method. It was just between me and Jean and my publicist. But there you go. The energy pipeline knew. It was on the energy pipeline in 1440, got the groove. So I'm going to be there at 1440 in California, August 9th through 11th. And I'll be debuting this method at the Art of Living Retreat Center in Boone, North Carolina in June. You'll see on my social media the links to these events, and you can also see it at AskDrLove.com/live events. We have also a commercial running for Boone, North Carolina, the Art of Living Retreat Center. So you have many, many ways to figure out how to join me. And it's going to be a most amazing experience where you just walk in feeling depleted and devitalized and without any sense of liveliness and joy, and you're going to leave feeling like new and reborn. So, I just felt the need to talk to you a little bit about that. Now, I just want to share with you, as I often do when I'm doing a solo show, I like to share a manifestation that I experienced from Jean, just to keep in reminding you just how much your loved ones are here with you, looking to reconnect with you, looking to remind you of their love and their support. And this was such a cool one. I really want to share this with you. So I moved into a new house here in Florida, and I had a small little dinner party as a housewarming. Now, I haven't done a dinner party since Jean left his body 12 years ago. So it was a double, inauguration of me entertaining and also doing a housewarming. And I had two couples come. The first, Marbeth and Harrison, lovely folks that live in Florida, spiritual leaders, and they introduced me to the publishers of the Masters of Health magazine, Sabina and Michael Stanislavski. So Sabina and Michael were at my house first, and I have one of those music cubes, and it was playing Vivaldi, and it had been playing Vivaldi for hours. And as Michael said to me, I feel like we're in the south of France with Jean. As soon as he said that, my music shifted from Vivaldi to Chopin. Well, believe me, I knew that this was Jean's doing, because I'm like, are you kidding me? How is it even possible that Jean could change the playlist? I mean, Vivaldi is Baroque. Chopin is 19th century romantic music. Two different genres, two different eras. But he did this. And he played the Chopin for hours and hours. Now we're at the dinner table, and it's a very lingering, beautiful, long dinner. And all of a sudden, I hear the music switch from Chopin to Debussy. So I say out loud, oh, look, Jean just switched the music from Chopin to Debussy. As soon as I said that, the music stopped, and I burst into laughter, because that was Jean being his normal, impish, playful self. He was saying, good to see you're paying attention. As soon as I said it, the music stopped to say, you're paying attention. And as soon as I acknowledged that it was Jean doing this, the music went back on to Chopin. Everybody was blown away. Everybody was blown away. And then I told a story a little later about my little canary and my little chipmunk Fluffy. And as soon as I started to tell the story, Jean turned the music off, as if in prayer, in reverence of the lovely story of the connection to these little creatures and how they are gods and spirits emissaries. And as soon as I finished the story, the music went back on to Chopin. And I realized what happened for me at the dinner is a really good example of what happens for you. When your loved ones bring you manifestations of their presence, their ongoing love and devotion, it's a gift for you. Jean was reminding me he's here. But it was also a gift for my guests, and especially Sabina and Michael, who have a love connection that's very much like me and Jean. And in the same way that Jean was afraid to leave his body and he thought I would die of a broken heart, he didn't even know he could be so close to me. In that same way, Sabina and Michael had been afraid. What is going to happen to the other when the other leaves his or her body? So Jean was bringing the proof of his presence to reassure Sabina and Michael. So this is what happens. The gift that is brought to you is brought to everyone around you, all those you touch, all those you share your stories with. So that is a beautiful, beautiful example of how our loved ones are here to shower us and everyone who's in our circle. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about getting beyond grudges. Getting beyond grudges. So what's a grudge? You know, a grudge is when you hold a feeling of hurt and anger. I think about a grudge as like an Oreo sandwich. It's kind of hurt that then morphs into anger, and then the anger and the hurt gets ossified into a grudge. And a grudge can be kept forever. Through the whole lifespan, it just is held in your field. Now, if you're carrying a grudge towards someone in spirit, the traditional notion is, well, then you're really, really in trouble. Because if you haven't worked it out, you're never going to work it out. But that's not true. And in fact, you often have to wait till someone leaves his or her body to work out the issue that triggered your grudge. Now, to get past a grudge, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to understand the perk, the secret perk that keeps everybody holding on to a grudge. So I want to talk about what that perk is, and I want to help you break free of your grudge that's keeping you from living and loving fully. So, as I said, a grudge is a constipated or a stuck place in your soul. It's an emotional sticking point that comes from having felt wronged by someone in the past. Now, I'm going to say something to you, and you probably never thought of this before. Holding a grudge is synonymous with playing the victim. I'm going to say it again. Holding a grudge is synonymous with playing the victim. What do I mean by that? Have you ever felt like when you talk about your grudge, you are unconsciously saying, so-and-so did me wrong, so-and-so victimized me. So as you're presenting your story or your case, you're really saying how victimized and wronged you were. Now, I want to talk about how we learn to even play the victim in the first place. So let's say you were raised by an abusive parent. You didn't feel safe to speak up and talk about the mistreatment that you suffered. Now, if your parent was already a loose cannon and you didn't know when that parent was going to go off on you, you certainly didn't feel safe to defend yourself or argue or assert yourself against your parent. And that's just simple self-preservation 101. It makes sense, right? You stuff the feelings down. Because if your parent is abusive to you when you aren't speaking up, what's going to happen if you actually do speak up, right? So it's adaptive. Just shut up, go under the radar, don't say anything. Push your feelings underground. So if you're raised in a situation where you have to push your hurt and your angry feelings underground, soon your anger morphs into feelings of victimization. And believe it or not, playing the victim is the way that our psyche secretly releases our anger. Now, how can this be? Well, think about it. A victim is pointing his or her finger at the abuser. The victim is secretly blaming the abuser when he or she says, "Look at how you hurt me. Look at how you wronged me." So you can see your woe, the victim's woe, is the complaint. It's actually a veiled and indirect accusation, which is in and itself an expression of anger. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I had a patient come to me.